I think a lot of times we just get completely blind to our clutter and mess, and we have absolutely no idea how overwhelmed by our surroundings we actually are. We may feel terrible, we may notice that we're having anxious thoughts or acknowledge that we're feeling depressed or hopeless, but I don't think that we always make the connection that any of this could be aggravated by our living space. The truth is that a chronically messy home or a disorganized workspace can affect us way more than just annoying us or making our lives more difficult. In reality, clutter can have a huge impact on our mental health. We may not even have a clue how much this issue is impairing us because we're just so used to living this way. So today I want to talk about how toxic it really is, even if we have kind of learned to work around it or live with it, because it is affecting every aspect of our life. And sometimes all it really takes is a wake-up call to start making positive changes in our life. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name's Nina, and if this is an area that you struggle in, as I did for many, many years, please take a moment to subscribe and definitely check out my Clutter Psychology and Solutions playlist. It's filled with many realistic and manageable strategies for those of us who feel like we've been really having a difficult time with this throughout our entire lifetime. Because believe it or not, there are workable solutions that aren't completely overwhelming. So I will go ahead and link that down in the comment section below. But I want to start out today's video by talking about the science behind the chaos. So firstly, our brains are wired to make sense of our environments, which makes perfect sense. But when we are surrounded by mess and disorder all of the time, our minds are kind of just bombarded by all of these chaotic visual cues. Even when we don't consciously notice them anymore, our brains still definitely see them, and they have to work on overdrive trying to process all of this information, which makes it really difficult for us to be able to focus and relax. And just being in this constant state of sensory overload all the time can absolutely trigger our stress response, which leads to elevated cortisol levels and heightened anxiety. And sometimes when we have gotten to the point where our clutter is mentally invisible to us because it's just been there for so long, we can't figure out why we're so stressed out all the time. But really, it's just that that clutter is kind of pushing us over the edge, and it's making us feel like everything's out of control. It just makes everything else that much more chaotic. Clutter can also be a huge source of emotional baggage. Sometimes we hold on to items because we think they have sentimental value, but a lot of times these same items can evoke painful memories or trigger unresolved emotions, and by holding on to these items, it can actually prevent us from being able to move forward or to be able to heal those past hurts. And this is something that we talk about a lot on this channel because I think it's a lot bigger of an issue than many of us realize. Studies have also shown that clutter directly interferes with our sleep. When our bedroom's a mess, it's been proven that it makes it a lot harder for us to get to sleep and to stay asleep, which of course can significantly impact our mental health and well-being. But that is not all. Studies have also shown that all of this chaos can even impair our cognitive abilities and greatly hinder our ability to concentrate, process information, and make decisions. And again, we can attribute a lot of this to the constant distractions, the visual distractions, which we already talked about, but also the emotional distractions that come along with them. They can divert our attention just as much and make it feel impossible for us to actually be productive. It can feel really difficult for us to just sit down and get to work because it feels like there is just so much going on. But even beyond all of this, clutter can also greatly affect our self-esteem, which is something else that we talk about a lot on this channel. A messy space is just like this constant reminder of unfinished tasks and unfulfilled goals. Our home should be a place that we go to feel good about ourselves. We should be able to relax and recharge. It should feel safe and cozy. But when we are living in mess and disorder, it's kind of like we're just being surrounded all the time by negative emotions. It makes us feel badly about ourselves. We can experience feelings like guilt, shame, and embarrassment. Research has also linked clutter to depression. It has been shown that living in mess can create a sense of hopelessness and reinforce our negative thought patterns. It's hard to feel great about our life when we're not feeling great about our surroundings, especially when we feel like other people think that this is an issue that we should have better under control. It can be really upsetting to us to think that we're really struggling with something that other people seem to have a lot easier of a time with, which of course is not always true, but it can certainly feel true. And also, when our surroundings are messy, it just makes us feel like we are not in control of our lives, which sometimes may actually kind of be true. It was definitely true for me for many years, and that's because our clutter can be a physical manifestation of our internal chaos. So long story short, our clutter can completely sabotage our mental health and well-being. But the good news here is that there is always hope. No matter how helpless or frustrated we feel, it is possible to make progress and to finally end this vicious cycle. And like I said, I have a full playlist of support if you're feeling like this is impossible. But little by little, we can get through this if we address it in a self-compassionate and realistic way, which is probably a very different approach than you are using right now. And really, even just taking the smallest of steps will start to improve your mental health and overall well-being. So I truly hope today's video inspires you to take that first step. And I would love to hear all about where you're at and all about your decluttering journey. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Know that you've got this and that I believe in you, and I will see you in the next video.